Okay, so welcome back. This week we will resume the particular chapter called product planning. And last week we basically end where we discussed that there is a 5-step process to product planning. And so now we will start with the description of or discuss the those steps. Now, first step we know is the if I am not mistaken, is the identify opportunities, which already had been discussed in separate videos, and in fact there was a separate chapter for that, where it's basically is a precursor to any product development process as a whole. And basically it's about generating ideas and sorting out those things, very rough sketch of discussion on what could be the product, something like that. So to be specific, here we will start with the step 2, which is evaluate and prioritize project. That means we already know a broader sketch of what can be the product, and now we will try to come up with more specific focus on what are more important projects to undertake, and all this thing. Now so there are so 4 basic perspectives are useful in evaluating and prioritizing opportunities for new products in existing product categories. Those are competitive strategy, market segmentation, technological trajectories, and product platform. What is competitive strategy? An organization's competitive strategy defines a basic approach to markets and products with respect to competitors. So everyone has certain I would say certain positive or expertise, I would say. Like, some are basically about designing new equipments, and then sometimes they even sell their patents to other companies. So every company have to make sense economically after, let's say, every financial year they have to produce profit, and there are different ways of producing profit, I would say. And so the choice of which opportunity to pursue can be guided by this strategy. Most firms devote much discussion at the senior management level to their strategic competencies and the way in which they aim to compete. Several strategies are, for example, technology leadership, cost leadership, customer focus, imitative. Now, what is technology leadership? So in this case, to implement this strategy, the firm places great emphasis on basic research and development of new technologies and on the deployment of this technology through product development. These are very risky things, and mostly these are approaches taken by bigger firms. They have the bigger capital, so they can play the long-term game. Other approach can be cost leadership. I think this also is true for bigger firm. Let's understand what is cost leadership. This strategy requires the firm to compete on production efficiency, either through economies of scale, use of superior manufacturing methods, low cost labor, or better management of the production system. Design for manufacturing method are therefore emphasized in the product development activities under this strategy. So I would say, again, this is true for big corporation, because they have more resources, and more capital to invest onto the manufacturing, or with using some interesting technology or some equipment, so that it can be the product can be made at lower price and all this thing. Now, customer focus. To follow this strategy, the firm works closely with the new and existing customer to assess their changing needs and preferences. Carefully designed product platforms facilitate the rapid development of derivative products with new features or functions of interest to customers. This strategy may result in a broad product line featuring high product variety to address the needs of heterogeneous customer segments. Finally, imitative. This is also a strategy of a certain firm. This strategy involves closely following trends in the market, allowing competitors to explore which new products are successful for each segment when viable opportunities have been identified. The firm quickly launches new product to imitate the successful competitor. First development process is essentially to effectively implement this strategy. So that's also a way of doing business or surviving into the competitive world. And yeah. In case of Xerox, which is a company that the case study had been done or followed by the author in this chapter, at Xerox, strategic in discussion centered around how the company would participate in the digital revolution of the office associated with growth of the internet. Xerox believed that the internet would enable a paradigm shift in business practices from one of print and then distribute to one of distribute and then print. The Lakes project would need to support this corporate vision. So Lakes project is a part of a project planning or certain bigger project under which they developed a lot of products and launched also. So here, of course, they haven't said that what is the under all these four category of competitive strategy, like technology leadership, cost leadership, customer focus, imitative. They haven't said that Xerox as a company following particular this strategy, but rather they are saying that this is their bigger motivation, or this is the sort of a bigger goal that they understood that this is the importance, so they want to play the game according to that. But that's all about the competitive strategy, and for a smaller firm it's very important to understand what will be their competitive strategy, how they will play the game when others are also playing, and also to survive, and make profit so that they can survive. Second thing about evaluate and second way of evaluating and prioritizing project would be to understand market segmentation. That means how the product or the derivative of the product or spectrum of similar products are basically defining into or basically how this market is segmented, because depending on segmentation you want to play your game correctly. Here segmentation means basically customer comes from different background, different environment, and they also have different budgets of buying that product. So customers can be usefully thought of as in belonging to distinct market segment. Dividing a market into segments allow the firm to consider the actions of competitors and the strength of the firm's existing product with respect to each well-defined group of customers. By mapping competitors' product and the firm's own product onto segments, the firm can assess which product opportunity best address weakness in its own product line and which exploit a weakness in the offerings of the competitor. So this is very interesting to understand, and in the figure you can see that in case of a Xerox, that is the case study for this particular chapter, they are mentioning the market segment into four groups: personal, work group, and department. That means basically a photocopy machine can be in a academic department, it can be in a company, in some work group, a smaller group. Maybe I'm not able to pinpoint what this work group means, but I think, and for of course personal, and I think can understand here the PPM basically means paper per minute. That means for a department where a lot of people are submitting printout for photocopy together. So you want to have a machine which can basically give you lot of produce the, I mean, it can work, it should work fast. That's why you see, in the upper segment of the figure, the ppms are larger, but in case of personal computer it's always 20, 25, 30, whereas I would say in the work group it's in the middle range. So that's how maybe we should understand the work group. And here they are also mentioning how the other products are, the round circle basically means the products from the other competitors company. So yeah, so that's about market segmentation. Now we'll move into technology trajectories and product platform. Now another factor in prioritizing any project or evaluate importance of a certain which project to take first, or something like that, is to understand, to have a good understanding of which technology should be adopted at what time. So in a technology intensive businesses, a key product planning decision is when to adopt a new basic technology in a product line. So it's about basic technology. So that means certain equipment or certain product, let's say, are kept using. For example, in case of a photocopy machine, there was previously people used light lens technology, which is a basic technology that basically, let's say, generated from fundamental research or some sort of thing, and then there is alternative one which will be, and which in generally should take the market, or should come as a predecessor of that, which is the digital technology. And the question is when to stop or reduce using light lens technology in the product, and when to start adopting the digital technology, because always new technology will take time and effort and money also. So that's important, and that depends on a lot of various interesting factors. For example, in the document business, the key technology issue at the turn of the century was the shift to digital image processing and printing. The product planning decision was when to develop digital products as opposed to developing another product based on light lens technology. Technology S-curve are conceptual tool to help think about such decisions. The technology S-curve displays the performance of the product in a product category over time, usually with respect to a single performance variable such as resolution, speed, reliability. The S-curve illustrates a basic but important concept. The technologies evolve from initial emergence when performance is relatively low through rapid growth in the performance based on experience, and finally approach maturity when some natural technology limit is reached and the technology may become obsolete. The S-shaped trajectory captures these general dynamics. As you see in the figure here, the horizontal axis may be cumulative research and development effort or time. The vertical axis may be a performance cost ratio or any important performance dimension. So it doesn't have to be exactly the parameter that have been plotted in the figure. It can be anything other also. While S-curve characterizes technological change remarkably well in a wide variety of industries, it is often difficult to predict future technology of performance of the performance curve. How near or far is the ultimate performance limit? So that's why I said it's a bit difficult, but it's good to know that this factor that there is always a lot of fundamental technology coming, and which when to adopt those things, because otherwise if you don't adapt yourself, then people will adapt. Like for example, there's a very interesting example of a Kodak company. They are very world leader of producing cameras, but then they haven't transform themselves into the digital framework at the turn of the century, and then they are lost now. So that's about the technological S-curve, and that's a part of the understanding how to prioritize your project. Next thing to discuss is product platform planning. That means, so the question is, what is platform? And so basically it's a like the product platform is a set of assets shared across a set of products. Components and sub-assemblies are often most important of these assets. An effective platform can allow a variety of derivative products to be created more rapidly and easily, with each product providing features and functions desired by a particular market segment. Because platform development projects can take 2 to 10 times as much time as money as derivative product development projects, a firm cannot afford to make every product a new platform. So basically a platform is, as the particular word means, basically it will harbor, or it will incorporate, or it will create a platform for different derivative products, full-fledged marketable product to be generated on that particular platform. So in the figure you can see that platform A will produce 3 derivative product, platform B will produce 3 derivative product, but marketed at different times, consecutive times. And so one technique for coordinating technology development with product planning is technology roadmap. A technology roadmap is a way to present the expected availability and future use of various technology relevant to the product being considered. This method has been used by Motorola, Philips, Xerox, and other leaders in fast-moving high-technology industries. To create a technology roadmap, multiple generations of technologies are labeled and arranged along a timeline as shown in Exhibit 4.7. The technology roadmap can be augmented with the timing of projects and projects that would utilize this technology development. So now we will learn what is technology roadmap specifically in more detail in the next slide. So in the figure here we can see for a photocopy machine there are so much functionalities, and depending on each functionality there are different subsystems that one can use, and each subsystem goes through its own development, and that development basically contain different basic technologies. For example, photoreceptor will generally be, previously it was cylindrical drum, then 3-pitch belt photoreceptor, then n-pitch belt photoreceptor. In case of scanner layout, it can be 2D CCD array with optical reduction. That was the previous technology. Now people use full width linear array without optical reduction. So these are more technical terms, but we can see with time each segment, for example, image processing, previously 600 dpi, now more about automatic image quality. User interface also, that's also a subsystem. So it's basically this particular example is ideal for product planning or even for community like us. More or less we are academic people, so lot of applied research. The end products are basically much more complex system than what particular micro research focus that we have in our lab. So in that context, if you want to commercialize your research, then it is very important to understand those different functional elements of the end product. And even if you are not, maybe you are basically doing a very focused research on, let's say, only a certain subsystem, let's say in this case maybe output mode or maybe toner type, etc. The question is whether you have a very interesting technological edge in your fundamental, or sorry, not fundamental, but in your micro focused research or not. And more importantly, if you have a technological edge, now whether you have the correct amount of patents or not, because not just one but most probably 2-3 patents will cover the will make your legal case more strong. There will be, otherwise people might just copy you, but if that is the case, if you have a technological edge and as well as you have the patents, then you might have the chance to build a product by just buying stuffs on the other subsystem, regular stuffs, like because for example photoreceptor, you just kept using the recent or maybe previous to recent technology, and you just buy it from the other company or other institution, and then your basically competitiveness of the product basically comes from that particular subsystem or innovation that you have done actually, and then you have molded every other subsystem with the usual stuff, which of course is not patented. Most of the time a lot of basic stuffs cannot be patented. So then you have the correct roadmap of commercializing research or your research. So that's basically my understanding here, because as a community, academic community, I would say we can't have that, unless we are a big group, where that in general doesn't happen, let's be honest, because even to form a big group or being a leader in your department and to perform full-fledged project, specifically in academic environment, is not an easy task, because all the people will going to have their own way or own independent project. They will be having their projects, and you can't just force them. Actually, that's not going to happen unless there are different countries where things run in different ways. That can happen, but still, for a small group of researchers working in an academic environment, they can't generally have the all full-fledged innovation in every segment or every subsystem of a end user's product. So I hope I made my point clear here. So, and with addition to that, I would also mention that while investing scarce resources in the development of products using new technologies or for new market is quite risky, some such investments are necessary to periodically rejuvenate the product portfolio. So that is, I would say, for bigger corporations, this is must. Some criteria for evaluating fundamentally new product opportunities include, opportunity include market size, market growth rate, competitive intensity, depth of the firm's existing knowledge of the market, depth of the firm's existing knowledge of the technology, fit with the firm's other products, fit with the firm's capabilities, potential for patents, trade secrets, and other barriers to competition, existence of a product champion within the firm. While these Criteria are particularly useful in evaluating fundamentally new product opportunity. They also apply generally to evaluating any product opportunity. These criteria can be used in simple screening metrics to evaluate the overall attractiveness and types of risk for any given opportunity. So that's sideline stuff that I want to say. And just to wrap up thing here, so we know that the Facebook basically transformed themselves into Meta company, and now they are proposing a lot of new products, and so that's also all about rejuvenating the company portfolio. Now we will discuss another important topic which is about balancing the portfolio. So there are many methods to help manager manage an organization's portfolio of development projects. Several of these methods involve mapping the portfolio along useful dimensions so that the managers may consider the strategic implications of their planning discussions. One particularly useful mapping suggested by Wheelwright and Clark 1992, which is the paper I'm mentioning here. You can go into the book and see the paper, but yeah, that's not really important. Basically it's about plots the portfolio project along two specific dimensions. It's also shown in the figure here. The extent to which the project involves a change in the product line and the extent to which the project involves a change in the production process. So in the y-axis we have the extent of production change, and the x-axis we have extent of production process change. So process basically means I would say maybe same sort of product, but different sort of manufacturing maybe. Yeah, so let's understand this in big detail. So the figure here, it's also called product process change matrix. This perspective can be useful to illuminate imbalances in the portfolio of projects under the consideration and in assessing the consistency between a portfolio of projects and the competitive strategy. For example, a firm may discover that it has identified essentially no breakthrough opportunity, or that it has no project aimed at incremental improvement to the existing project. So basically what they are trying to say here, that as a firm to survive in a longer term, you need to innovate on the same sort of product that you are making. You need to improve it, as well as you need to do the fundamental level also. You need to produce new product itself, new core product I would say, and so that would need breakthrough sort of and that's basically bit of risky, but that's also you need to do. There are no general procedure for deciding exactly what the portfolio should look like. However, the firm's choice of competitive strategy should affect the shape of the product development portfolio. So again, competitive strategy comes into the play. What is the motto of the company? What is the way they are surviving into the business and competition? That's more important. For example, a firm pursuing a low-cost strategy would expect the portfolio to contain more production process improvement projects. Firms following a strategy requiring high product variety would need to develop many derivative products based upon existing platforms. So that's about the this particular slide. We'll move into the next slide now. Now we will move into another topic, which is related to how do we reevaluate which project to take first, and how we prioritize different product development projects. So, and that is here about basically it's a step 3, and it's about allocate resources and time planning, which is very important, I would say. So many organizations take on too many projects without regard for the limited availability of the development resources. As a result, skilled engineers and managers are assigned to more and more projects. Productivity drops off drastically, projects take longer to complete, the products become late to the market, and profits are lower. Aggregate planning helps an organization make efficient use of its resources by pursuing only those projects that can reasonably be completed with budgeted resources. Determining the timing and the sequence of projects, sometimes called pipeline management, must consider a number of factors including timing of the product introduction, technology readiness, market readiness, competition. Timing of the product introductions basically mean generally the sooner a product is brought to the market, the better. However, launching a product before it is of adequate quality can damage the reputation of the firm. In case of technology readiness, it's basically about the robustness of the underlying technologies plays a critical role in planning process. A proven robust technology can be integrated into the products more quickly and reliably. Market readiness basically means the sequence of product introduction determines whether early adopters buy the low-end product and may trade up, or whether they buy the high-end product offered at a high initial price. Releasing improvements too quickly can frustrate customers who want to keep up. On the other hand, releasing new product too slowly risks lagging behind competitors. Finally, competition basically means the anticipated release of competing products may accelerate the timing of the development project. So that's about step 3. Now we'll move into step 4. Next step, or the step 4, is complete pre-project planning. So before we start here, I would like to mention that how the timings and various things are. So timing budgets are very important. In fact, I would like to remind myself or remind everyone, or like to inform you about the project that I'm working, and that's even not a project which is basically, it's a academic project, of course, research project, but of course there are companies involved. And so we saw that that how the timings are distributed. I think the project I'm working, it's basically I think 5 or 6 year old project, and I'm basically joining later. And but then there are so many things, like because it's all planned, and I'm not saying that they all know things, but then there is a bigger sort of a macro understanding that these are the thing that we want to research on, and this is the time budget, this is somewhere we'll hire this postdoc or PhD or new PhD, and this is the time point when we will hire these people, and they will work on this thing. They will invest their 2 year or 6 month or 1 year time on this thing. So that this thing gives a very interesting perspective, that is how it is important, because a lot of things we might say that okay we want to do, and most probably the leader in the project, they know that they can perceive thing that this is something we can do, because depending on the state of development of the project, next thing we should be doing this, and there is literature like that, and we want to do something like that, etc. etc. So it's about finding solution to the particular product or scanner. Specifically in my case, it's basically a spec scanner. So what new development software as well as hardware should be done on that, on top of the already long time development that had been going through for a long time. So anyway, I lost my thought, but you get my point that it's very important that how this timings and time budgets are very important. Now starting with step 4 here, so it's about complete pre-project planning. Now you have the basically more understanding that which will be your projects, and now it's about defining those projects more in detailed terms. So basically at this point, the earlier opportunity statement may be rewritten as a product vision statement, and you can see to provide clear guidance of the product development organization. Generally, the team formulates a more detailed definition of the target market and of the assumption under which the development team will operate. So here you see the mission statement. Now it's not like just one line statement that we generally saw in, I think, last chapter that we are studying somewhere in this lecture series, and in fact I have a separate video on that where I was trying to define a mission statement, not mission statement to be exact, but something else, and depending on that I'm doing some FTO or patent landscape analysis, but again that's not related to this video. I'm not going to extend anything here, I'm not going to discuss those things here. But here you can see this product, the mission statement now have a lot of interesting information like product description, like networkable digital machine with copy, print, fax and scan function, benefit proposition, multiple document processing function in one machine connected to office computer network. This is very usual thing nowadays. Most of the photo machines are now connected to internet. You just submit online and you take the printout. Key business goal: support Xerox strategy of leadership in digital office equipment, serve as platform for all future BMW digital product, BMW digital and solution. Okay, I don't know what that means. Capturing 50% of digital product sales in primary market, environmentally friendly, first product introduction, fourth quarter 1997. Okay, primary market, office departments, mid volume 40 to 60 ppm, above ppm means paper per minute. Secondary market, assumption and constraint. This is also important because everything starts with should have some assumption and some constraint about the particular corporation. Like, I have this manufacturing facility. I can't really propose to the production team to do something totally different, which will make them to buy new equipment for production, because that would be very costly. And those are something that decision should be taken by bigger or more senior level management, and that itself is a different thing. So assumption, for example, here can be like new product platform, digital image technology, compatible with center-wired software, input devices manufactured in Canada. So this is also important. So how they are sourcing various sub-component, output device manufactured in Brazil, image processing engine manufactured in both the United States and Europe. Stakeholders, purchasers and users, manufacturing operations, service operation, distribution, reseller. I think this is they are talking about here who will be involved in the project, something like that. So that's about complete pre-project planning. Finally, last step, which the fifth step is about reflect on the results and the process. And so team should ask several questions to assess the quality of both the process and the result. Some suggested questions are: is the opportunity funnel collecting and exciting on diverse set of product opportunity? So that's about basically the first step of which is the opportunity identification, which we haven't discussed in this video, but then there is a separate chapter we discussed, so that's why I skipped it. Now next thing is, does the product plan support the competitive strategy of the firm? So the third thing is, does the product plan address the most important current opportunities facing the firm? Are the total resources allocated to the product development sufficient to pursue the firm's competitive strategy? Have creative way of leveraging finite resources have been considered, such as the use of product platform, joint ventures, and the partnerships with suppliers? Next, does the core team accept the challenge of the resulting mission statement? Next, are the elements of the mission statement consistent? Next, are the assumptions listed in the mission statement really necessary, or is the project over constrained? Will the development team have the freedom to develop best possible product? How can the product planning process be improved? Because the mission statement is the handoff to the development team, a reality check must be performed before proceeding with the development process. So that's about the last step, and that's all about the project planning or product planning chapter that we start learning from the last week, and we are finishing it here in this week. From next week, hopefully we will be able to start the new chapter. So yeah, as usual, this is the book from where we are basically learning these interesting concepts, and also I'm providing the download link, and these informations are also available in the description. So that's it about this week. See you in the next week. Bye bye.